What's being targeted is anything that holds people together. So the family unit is something that keeps people together. I'm not religious. I'm not into religion at all. But also religious structures are being targeted because they hold people together. What they want to do is break down all units that are in any way keeping people in some kind of organization, in some kind of mutual support system, because they want the state to be the total arbiter and dictator of human life, and therefore any structure that is a problem to that, they want to bring down. You see, if you have a family unit, then within that unit there can be diversity of the way children and the family see the world. This family unit, if they're together, there can be diversity in the way they see the world. And all these different diverse units of family create exactly that, diversity. What any dictatorship wants, no matter what it is uniformity. It doesn't want diversity of view, diversity of the way people see the world and see each other and all the rest of it. They want uniformity. You look at the Soviet Union. What was it? It was a centralized dictatorship that took away all diversity. You look at any fascist dictatorship, centralized control, take away diversity. So any unit of mutual support, or whatever you want to call it, that offers the opportunity for diversity of debate, diversity of view, they want rid of, because they want the central point in the tyranny to dictate the version of life and self that everybody has. You know, it's always the case that tyrannies want uniformity. Look around the world. All diversity is being removed. And even the built environment, you go around the world now, you will go into these cities in previously diverse cultures, and if you didn't know, you could look out the hotel window and you wouldn't be able to tell where you are. This is the reason. Tyrannies want uniformity, and diversity, therefore, is under target and being targeted wherever you look. Eugenics has been with us for a very, very long time. At first, it was open. Of course, you had eugenics courts in America, etc., that were dictating that certain children or families, certain, according to the authorities, IQs, etc., disablement, they were to be stopped from having children. And then, of course, Britain, as usual, was massively involved in this. And the Rockefeller families, the Harrimans, the Rothschilds, all these people were involved in this. And then along came Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, which gave a very bad name to the term eugenics. So what did they do after that? They just changed the names from eugenics and hid behind front names like Planned Parenthood, etc. And they've gone on running this eugenics program ever since. And, you know, some very, very famous people through the years, including people involved in the Fabian Society, including Julian Huxley, who was the head of the British Eugenics Society. He was the brother of Aldous Huxley, who wrote Brave New World, very accurate book because he knew what the agenda was. And behind the facade of these families and these front men, they want to cull the population. Not only that, they want to manipulate the breeding of the population to remove what they perceive as the lower stock. And they did it before openly, tried to, and now they're doing it covertly. And their big kind of final card, if you like, is for a massive cull of the population, which will remove vast numbers of people on this planet. And that's where they're leading, and you know, through their access to mass vaccination programs, they're hoping to bring that about.
I've not come over to tell people what to believe. This world is drowning in people telling others what they should think, what they should believe, what they should and shouldn't do. What I'm presenting today is information.
I realized a long time ago that this family bloodline interbreeding control system of these elite families was not just a human thing. It went beyond that into entities that are anything but human. And it was only with the passage of the years and more research when I started to realize the nature of this reality that we're experiencing that made sense in how this structure is playing out. What the system has done is to keep from us the nature of the reality we're experiencing and the nature of who we are in life itself. And in doing so, it has kept us completely in the dark about what's actually happening around us. The knowledge that's passed across the top levels of the secret society network through these bloodline families, the most important part of that knowledge is the knowledge of reality itself. For instance, we think as we look around here that we're seeing everything that exists within this room. But in fact, we're only seeing a frequency range, a very tiny one, called visible light. Anything outside of that, we can't decode, therefore we can't see. But just like radio stations share the same space without interfering with each other, so other worlds, other dimensions, other realms of reality, if you like, share the same space without interfering with each other. However, just as with radio, if you've got two stations that are very close on the dial, then one will be the dominant one, but another one, you'll get what we call interference from it. It's the same with these various realities that share the same space. It's what mainstream science calls parallel universes. Just outside of the frequency range of visible light, there are entities that are anything but human who have been manipulating this reality, this world, for eons. And because they are working on, operating on a frequency that's different to ours, they have to manipulate our world through conduits. I mean, interfaces. For instance, when you see scientists in a laboratory, they want to work with material that's very dangerous. So the material will be in a big glass tank, and they will be outside the tank, and they'll put on those gloves, and they can work from outside the tank into the tank and do what they have to do. It's very, very similar in theme to what these Illuminati bloodlines have been bred for. They are bred to be the vehicles within visible light, this world that we experience, of these entities. And if you go back and you look at religious beliefs, etc., of the ancients and the accounts of the ancients, these entities, which go under different names, some people call them the serpent race, some people call them demonic. In the Islamic culture, they call them jinns, all different names, but the same entities. The bloodlines are interbreeding incessantly and have been right back to ancient Babylon and Sumer and Egypt, etc., and beyond, because they are holding a certain genetic code which allows the possession, another ancient common theme from as far back as you can track right to today, a genetic code which allows these entities to possess these particular bloodline families within the reality that we experience, and these families are therefore simply vehicles of these demonic entities. You research any of these families, be it the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, Greenspan, Alan Greenspan, any of these people, you will go eventually into black magic, blood-drinking human sacrifice rituals where they make sacrifices to the gods. And these gods are these entities which feed off human energy and feed off human blood too. So people accept, yes, long ago, people used to use human sacrifice to the gods, yes, and all the rest of it. And they think, oh, no, we're kind of civilized now. Well, some of us are, but these bloodlines are not. And they're just continuing to do today covertly what they were openly doing in the past. And they are interacting with these entities all the time in their rituals. That's why they do all these rituals. That's why they drink the blood. And ultimately, they are possessed by these entities. And this brings about a simple situation. You've got the entities, let's call them demonic entities for want of a word. They're operating just outside of this visible light reality that we experience. They use the bloodline families as their vehicle to manipulate this reality. They take over their mental, what passes for their emotional processes, their physical processes.